The stabbings in the London Carnival, in the Notting Hill Carnival today and yesterday, suggest yet again that we need to do something seriously about the incidence of knife crime in our country. And I think we need to go beyond impassioned rhetoric uh, about how we must discourage people, we must bond together, we must integrate. We must keep a proper record of knives. It will not be exhaustive. The kitchen is a dangerous place, but knives which are which have not been microchipped outside the house should become an issue of illegality, not just the type of knife, but a knife in any form outside the house should be microchipped. It's a simple. It would be a simple rule to enact, and it should be the responsibility of the knife owner to get it microchipped in the same way as it's a responsibility of a cat owner or a dog owner to get their pets microchipped so that they can be identified and reunited with their owner should they go missing. And yes, this may not in itself stop knife crime, but it would be a tool that could be employed by the police forces. And the people who make comments saying that the microchips would disintegrate in hot water. Well, microchips work very well in China and brought down the incidence of knife crime in the Uyghur provinces. Now, of course, the microchipping of knives in China was done in a prejudicial way to discriminate against the Uyghur population. And the reasoning and the nature of that wheeling out of modern technology may be something that we would question. I hope it is something we would question. But the fact is the technology exists and it's been proven to work. That technology alone helped to reduce knife crime. And I think it could do the same thing in the UK and maybe in America. In the same way as guns should be identifiable and there should be ownership, so too with knives, so too with cars, so too with animals, particularly dangerous dogs, and so on. And we can keep rolling this out. We have the technology, we should be using it. It's not enough simply to rely on CCTV, though that is another piece of technology which is of value. And I think this is we should look across the world to see what other people are doing, and we should learn from what they do, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Not everything is bad. Some things, we can see technology in action across the world. We may not approve of everything that it's used for, but we can at least recognize the technology exists. So people in the comments section saying this is untried technology. It's not. It's been tried, tested, and it has been proven to be efficacious. In this case, we're simply looking for a technology that traces knives outside the house. There's already a law which says we shouldn't be carrying knives outside the house. I don't know quite how we enforce that. And I think this is a really good buttress to the stop and search legislation that already exists. And it could be wheeled out in some ways as a voluntary action, but in time, I think it should be clear that any non-microchip knife that's out on the streets is to be classed as an illegal weapon, whether it's used or not used. Very simple. And we need that clarity if we're going to eradicate knife crime in London, on our streets around the country. And rioting is something, again, we need to make it very clear that rioting is not about discussion. Rioting is not about debate. Rioting is not about two-tiered police. Rioting is wrong. It doesn't matter who is doing it. It's wrong. And you can go back to, Shakespeare's brilliant scene in Thomas More, where Thomas More reads the Riot Act about people who are rioting, interestingly, about migrants. It's time to do something about knife crime, because it's not just a problem with incidental events. It now damages celebrations like the Notting Hill Carnival.